All right, all right. Let me see. Let me see. Turn this down a little bit. Turn this down. All right. Shout out to the people over at Wisdom for taking the time out of what is now technically the morning. Appreciate y'all joining me, listening to my reviews for the new music, of course. For my people over at Kick, appreciate y'all. People over at YouTube, appreciate y'all for tuning in as well. Also, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure to hit that follow button as I cover the latest gaming and hip hop. Obviously tonight, well, midnight, well, whatever you want to call it, we're covering new music, and a lot of new music drop. So we're going to be getting into Rod Wave, of course, Nas, Diddy, plethora of artists. So, you know, without further ado, let's get right into it. Cause let me see, where's this at? All right, cool. But yeah, also, I haven't uploaded yet, so I can't plug that just yet. But at some point, I will be able to. Okay. All right. So obviously, if you're new, just know that the people in the title we're gonna save for the end of the segment. So let me see. I'm just making sure everything's running smoothly. You know, I don't want to be talking, y'all can't hear me. I think so. If y'all don't know, I use a totally different mic for Wisdom, so that's like what I'm trying to figure out right now. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we are good. All right. So if you're new, for my people over at Kick, Wisdom, and YouTube, I covered the people in the title last, so we're going to be getting into a lot of different artists before we get into them. But before that, that's not it. Here we go. So it's not too many artists we're getting into. We're going to start with XXXTentacion, and then we're going to get into David Guetta. That's how you say it. And then we're going to get into Offset. So those are the three we're going to start with. For the most part, it's going to be a pretty short stream. If y'all are not familiar with a YouTube platform, definitely follow my YouTube. As I went live, you know, playing Mortal Kombat, of course, and everything, because I have the premium edition. So I was able to play it early. I think it's like 4 or 5 days early. So if you want to see footage of me playing that, you know, it was pretty entertaining, if I do say so myself. But, you know, you will have to be the judge of that. Just go to my YouTube, go to the playlist tabs, and you should see it in the gameplay walkthroughs, because that's where all my live streams go to before I eventually put it up on my podcast. So if you want to see a video format on my podcast, follow Analytic Dreamz video podcast on Spotify. All right. Let's get into it's pretty interesting. Let's get into XXXTentacion, and then all right. I don't know who Ronnie J is, but hey, we're about to talk about him. I don't even think I'm gonna look anything up for this one, because I don't know who this man is. Somehow you got a XXXTentacion feature with 619,000 monthly listeners, so we're gonna cover it. Oh, he released the album. His bio literally says nothing. That's great. That's fantastic. All right. Cool. Let's get into that right. Pull this up right quick. Okay. All right. Let me transition. Yeah, I should be able to see it now for my people over at Kicking YouTube. But anyways, all right, let's get into it. Getting into Ronnie J and XXX Tentacion. Now, how in the world did Ronnie J get an XXX Tentacion feature? At first, you may say it's hating, but upon further review, I still have no idea how Ronnie J managed to acquire an XXX Tentacion feature. Now, obviously, that means I'm not as informed about the musician Ronnie J, but looking at his profile, it's hard to be informed when his bio usually used to inform people who are first time viewers of the profile, you know, giving them a little glimpse into the artist they're looking at, right? It literally says, I love you all. Well, can't say it back because I don't know you, you know, stranger danger, those type of things. But he has an album out, Charged Up, that literally released in its entirety, and it has a lot of tracks specifically focused on Ronnie J, of course. Then he has features like Snow or SNXW. I don't know how you pronounce that. Like, come on now. Banks. He has Strange Human. He has Wiz Khalifa, so that's another notable feature. And then we have XXX Tentacion. Now, this man, Ronnie J, has 619,000 monthly listeners, so obviously he has a fan base. The inner workings, the behind the scenes of how he acquired this feature is something I'm keen on, because if y'all don't know, XXXTentacion is still one of the more prominent streamed artists on DSP platforms. It's XXX, Juice WRLD, and Pop Smoke as far as the top posthumous artists on DSPs. Don't ask me how I know, just know that I know. So anyways, that's the biggest thing I really wanted to get into. It's really no deep dive into Ronnie J. I don't know too much about him. Upon further research, and by research, I just looked at his Spotify profile, hoping to get a glimpse of what he does as a musician. It literally just says, I love you all. So that's the recap I have for y'all. At the end of the day, this man has put out a bunch of music in 2023. He put out Magic, Danger, Kanye, I don't know how to say that. Millions Up, Skate 3. So he's definitely been active in 2023. So to acquire not only Wiz Khalifa but XXXTentacion feature is definitely another accomplishment under his belt, because not many, even forget artists, not many prominent artists has had the chance to collaborate with an artist of the stature of Tentacion. So at the end of the day, what you need to know, Ronnie J just put out a new album titled Charged Up that is out now on all DSPs. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. Do you know how Ronnie J acquired this XXXTentacion feature? And if so, please let me know by direct messaging me in one of my social medias via my link tree and bio. Shout out to the people over at Wisdom joining in. Right now, I'm getting into new music, of course, every Thursday. Make sure to follow the podcast because it'll be uploaded after the fact. Notorious Mass Effect, or, you know, made it even easier, go to my link tree via in my bio. So let me see. Because in general, some people on Wisdom, they come and then they realize that they don't know how to get to my podcast platform, and you know, try to make it easier on y'all. Have a whole link tree for y'all to go through. So as far as my Kicking YouTube people, I mean, y'all see it on the screen. Y'all see the tags. So yeah. What else? Let's get into this man Offset, because I think he released a track called Set It Off. How many times is he going to use a pun or a double or triple entendre on his name? Because this man has been in the game for a while now, and he still finds a way to flip his name. It's really commendable, honestly, because you would think there was only so many ways you could flip Offset, and then before it gets like mundane. But Offset somehow managed to do it again by releasing a new single titled uh, a new album titled "Set It Off." Obviously, I'm not doing a segment right now. I'm just letting y'all know. So that was a little preview of the segment. I was looking at something, totally forgot. Oh, here we go. As always, well, not as always, but this is my second stream of the day. Make sure to follow my YouTube at Analytic Dreams. We're almost at 7,000 subscribers. Definitely appreciate the support. I played Mortal Kombat 1 earlier today, so this is the second stream, so this won't be as long, if that makes sense. Let me see. The more I get into music, I'm not even starting yet, but the more I get into music, it's like I've realized Offset is a very problematic person as far as the spectator perspective. You know, I don't know. Very interesting the way that the public views Offset and me covering hip hop views Offset is a little different. But hey, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Uh, pull this up right quick. I think I've been going. How long have I been going? Since like 11? I mean, obviously it's not too long for most people, but when I get up, it's a little tidbit or insight into my life. Usually, when I get up, I get to things that are like that matter. Like I don't really sit around, which is nothing wrong with, of course. But me personally, I don't watch too much TV, movies, stuff like that. Like I get up, I get to what I gotta do, and I go to sleep. So I've been running nonstop of just like random stuff. But obviously, y'all want to hear all that. Y'all just want to hear their reviews. So without further ado, let's get into Mr. Set. All right. That transition, make sure to transition so y'all can see it. All right. The amount of ways you can flip Offset is commendable because to release an album titled Set It Off is obviously a play off of his own name, his stage name, Offset. This man has been in the game for decade plus and still has found ways to flip his name in ways that are not mundane. So with that being said, let's get into the real reason I'm covering Offset, because covering the genre of hip hop made me realize that Offset at certain points in times is more in the wrong than he is in the right. Now, I don't like to get into people's personal business too much, but because I do cover music, and music is usually, most times for the good ones, a reflection of their life and what they're going through, and they're just putting it in music format, right? With Offset, allegedly, I guess we have to say, well, I don't even know because Cardi did leave him, but cheating on Cardi multiple times. Then get more into the future, and this is real messy stuff. The alleged stuff that went on with the reason that him and Quavo split, let's just leave it at that. Then him suing P from QC, literally the label that they flourished in to become the Migos that we know them as today. He sued the owner, P, separated from the group, which of course contained Quavo and Takeoff. Then Quavo and Takeoff start having success with their track Hotel Lobby, calling themselves Unconfused because contractually Offset left, so they couldn't use the name Migos. Obviously they could, but without Offset it'd be kind of pointless. So they renamed themselves Unconfused, dropped Hotel Lobby. That set it off because that was a hit. Then they released the album Built for Infinity Links. Of course, in my opinion, one of the better Migos albums, because that album was straight classic. Then the unfortunate passing of Takeoff. And even then, Quavo, I forget which stage it was, but he was performing a Takeoff tribute. Offset tried to join him on stage. You can look this up. And they got into a little scuffle because Quavo would not let Offset on the stage along with him to perform the Takeoff tribute. Keep in mind, it's Quavo's song, but Offset wanted to be beside Quavo as he performed the Takeoff tribute. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, except for the obvious fact or the obvious elephant in the room of why is Quavo so upset at Offset. It would seem, going through our history, that Quavo has some type of merit to not openly engage with Offset on a publicity standpoint. But it's gotten to the point where it's made me, once a blind fan of the Migos, well more informed now, currently, look at Offset and realize that maybe he is the problem in the whole situation. Putting that to the side, which I know that was a lot, but putting that to the side, Offset has now released his second single, or maybe his first. I think Jealousy with Cardi B was his first single. So I'm gonna say this is his second single, titled Set It Off, titled Fan, for his upcoming second studio album, Set It Off. So with this track Fan, he basically talks about things he's stressing over, like his girl hurting his heart, stuff like that. There's a music video that also shows Offset in a city of chaos with him channeling his Michael Jackson. And if there's one thing about Offset, promotion is never lacking for the rollout for his music. Then he gave unwarranted information about him and Cardi B, which, you know, this is like lighthearted and stuff. Basically talking about the nicknames that they have for each other in private. Well, since it's the internet and he brought it to the public, I don't think these nicknames are private anymore. As he said, he calls Cardi Belle and she calls him Kieri. I don't even know if that's how you say it. I'm hoping I mispronounced that, which is Offset's real name. Why do you need to know that fact? Because if I had to read that, y'all had to hear it. So at the end of the day, obviously it's not too deep, you know. Offset has a new single out for his upcoming album, Set It Off. I don't think we have a release date yet. I will be anticipating the album. This track Fan, I did listen to it. It was pretty solid. If there's one thing about Offset, he makes good music. Consistent with his rhyme schemes and just the way he attacks beats and the way he picks beats. One of the more undervalued portions of Offset is his ability to pick beats. I feel like Migos in general, but specifically Offset, because I remember when he did Ric Flair, and that beat was insane. And then he did another track, I forget the name of it. Basically, Offset's ability to pick beats is very undervalued by the hip hop society because they don't really know too much that goes into the music making process. But I wanted to point that out because I didn't want everybody to think I was just hating on Offset. Just pointing out some personal tidbits throughout his career that, no pun intended, was pretty offsetting, off-putting. That's the word I was trying to use. So yeah, that's basically all I have. Offset is pretty interesting when it comes to music, personal life. When you get into the review and the research of it, it starts to showcase that Offset may actually be the main problem with some of these different scenarios. And let's just say, I feel like his album, when it comes out, hopefully he has some more personal verses addressing those issues. The issue with Quavo, the issue with P, but you know how they say you can't really beef with your owner? That sounds bad. But basically the person who helps navigate you through the music industry. Well, at this point, with Offset having Cardi B, I think he feels more empowered to go against P from QC. So we'll see what happens. I reported on it a while ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He basically dropped his lawsuit because he didn't really have a case. But we'll see how this album ends up playing out, because technically right now it says that Offset is under Motown Records, which is Universal Music Group recording. So it no longer says Atlantic. So we'll see where he goes from here. I think this is his first single under that, because if you don't remember, Jealousy came out. I think Jealousy came out under Atlantic. Once you switch labels, it goes back through most of your archive and changes it. So I don't remember when he was on. Yeah, I remember he was putting out a lot of features because of him going back and forth with P from QC, basically talking about how he couldn't put out solo music. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because I don't really care that much. Quavo still, for me, has the best album of the year. I think Quavo's heartfelt album, along with repeatable songs with the quality being at an all-time high, it's just leaps and bounds, for me, the best album of the year. And if you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend you listen to it. It's one of those albums where I would actually buy it just to have it for myself. That's how good that album is. And I do not buy albums because with the state of DSPs, there's really no need to. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Offset's single titled Fan for his upcoming album Set It Off? And how do you feel about Offset's whole situation and the whole breakup of the Migos? All right. Let me see. Shout out to people still coming in over at Wisdom. We're about to get into David Guetta. I know, out of all the names, that's what we're about to get into. So let's go to his Instagram, because I don't see any articles. And I believe this man hasn't put out music for a while. Here we go. David Guetta. This is very interesting. Okay. Let me see. Maybe it don't hurt me. Is that a track? Coil Ray. I don't remember that track. Let me see. David. All right. All My Love. That's the track I'm covering. All right, I'm transitioning so y'all can see the screen. Let's get back into it. At first glance, you're probably wondering, why in the world are you covering Zara Larsson, and David Guetta? Well, apparently, according to David Guetta himself, and what you see on the screen, shameless plug to my Analytic Dreamz video Spotify podcast to see the video elements along with the audio. David Guetta is the most streamed DJ / producer ever, and he's the 4th most streamed artist. Now, why am I bringing it up? Because to have that much engagement in your music, and the last time you put out solo music was in 2018, I think that's pretty much a telltale sign on where you are in the landscapes of music. Now, obviously, he has a lot of different singles, but I'm specifically talking about his own body of work titled 7 that came out September 14th, ironically, 2018. So he's under Warner, which is another major label in the landscape of the music industry. And some of the tracks he's been on throughout 2023, he's been with Bebe Rexha, I don't know how to say that, titled 1 in a Million. He's been on Mind Your Business, which is a very funny title, if only people would abide by it. But that came out September 1st. So he's been putting out music with like likes of Will I Am, Britney Spears, Baby Rexa, like I just said. Let me see. He putting out music with Clementine Douglas. Obviously, y'all may not know who some of these people are. Put out music with Akon. Y'all should have knew who that is, or you might get locked up. So at the end of the day, David Guetta has numbers that can't be denied, and I think his track "On My Love" with Zara Larsson is only going to exemplify that, because who in the world is Zara Larsson? I'm sorry, call me ignorant. I don't know who this person is, and upon further review, I still don't know who this person is. So for David Guetta to attach his name to her for this single was very interesting, because of the way the music field and the music landscape happens, and the happenings behind the scenes, especially with women artists. I'm not like insinuating anything. I'm just saying that collaborating with certain musicians, I wonder how that comes about. I think that's the professional way to put it. So anyways, David Guetta, "On My Love" with Zara Larsson. Click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. Have you listened to David Guetta's music? Because the numbers tell me that somebody is out here listening to David Guetta. And I don't know why I like saying the name, pause, but it just rolls off the tongue. See, that's another one. That's definitely a pause. Anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about David Guetta and his latest track with Zara Larsson titled "On My Love"? All right. Let's see. What else? Where we at? If y'all don't know, definitely follow my YouTube. Almost at 7,000 subscribers, and the reason I say that because it's my second time streaming. I streamed earlier today playing Mortal Kombat 1. So if you want to see a little sneak peek of that video game, just know, I'm kind of nice in Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna have to put me a little, montage clip together. I was going crazy on day one. Only put like 2 hours into it. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I did play the beta, so some people could say that's cheating. We don't have a lot to get into because I've covered most of it. Doja Cat. Is Doja in the... Oh, she's not. Okay, let's cover Doja. Doja Cat. Then let's do... We're getting through this. We're getting through this pretty nicely. Diddy. Let's get into Balvin. Okay. Diddy. Nas. And then Rod Wave. I think that's the... Yeah, that's the rest. Okay. And now we moving. I like that. Okay. Let's get into Doja Cat, because people gotta... I ain't gonna lie. People talk about Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. Doja Cat, honestly, is the one putting up the most numbers as far as women rap. Now, before the barbs get me and talk about Red Ruby and Super Freaky Girl, I'm talking about consistently, Doja Cat has been putting up bigger first week numbers. I mean, last time Cardi put out an album was in 2018. And it's not even the segment. I'm just telling y'all some facts right now, Doja Cat is really like the woman version of Drake. So yeah. With that being said, antics included, because Drake be doing some wild stuff sometimes. So let's do this one. All right. While I look this up, I was thinking about some pop culture stuff. What's been going on? Oh, y'all see Aaron Rodgers? All I'm gonna say is, it wasn't September 11th, and he was carrying the flag while he was running out before the game. That's all I'm gonna say. Do have that information what you will, but shortly after that, he tore his Achilles. Now, I'm not gonna say it's bad luck. I'm just gonna say the luck wasn't good. Let's just leave it at that. All right, so we have Doja Cat, and the Jets still won the game. No wonder people was picking them to win the Super Bowl. Oh, like, y'all lost Aaron Rodgers and still won. Like, obviously, people say Aaron Rodgers is overrated at this point because he's not. He's like that the tail end of his. His. And I'm not I leave that to Steven and stuff. But his Achilles injury reminded me of when Kobe Bryant got hurt. and at the tail end of his career, that's what that reminded me of. I'm like, there's no way that he could ever be the same. That's what in my head. That's what went through my mind. I was like, he's basically done. Now, obviously, I'm not saying the Jets is done because apparently their defense is like top tier. But I'm just saying, as far as Aaron Rodgers, like it reminded me of Kobe Bryant the way he went out. And sad day in history, man. Hopefully he bounces back. I heard everybody up in the everybody was in the uproar over the turf or whatever. I didn't even know it was that serious, but when Aaron Rodgers get hurt, I guess that's a way to get the league's attention. But maybe we should change this turf. But yeah. All right, let's go to Doja Cat's Instagram for research purposes. No matter how many pictures she puts up that's not appealing to the eye, we still realize that Doja Cat is a beautiful human being. All right, let's leave. Oh my goodness, she has a picture of her covered in blood. Why did I see that? Like, why is this on her page? I just don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, she actually put the track list up. Interesting. Paint the Town Red, Demons. Wet, what? See, these girls, I'm talking about wet, man. That stuff is. Hey. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, let's transition to her Instagram profile, and then we're going to get into Doja Cat. All right. If you're new, just know I get into my segment. So in the meantime, between time, that's why I get into random, stuff about like how I feel about the landscape of stuff. Hopefully it makes sense. If it doesn't, I try my best. For my people over there kicking YouTube, appreciate y'all for rocking with me. All right, let's get into Doja Cat. Enough of that. Enough of that random stuff. I gotta pull up these numbers first because it's ridiculous. All right, hold up. All right, that is not what I typed in. Doja Cat. But Paint the Town Red is going insane right now. I don't know why Drake's releasing on the same week, but whatever. I think he's trying to prove a point, but I don't know. We gonna see. All right. It behooves me to the reasoning of Drake dropping For All the Dogs on the same day that Doja Cat is dropping Scarlet. Now, I've said this take previously. If you want to hear it, of course, I'm about to reiterate it. But Drake dropping For All the Dogs on the same day that Doja Cat is dropping Scarlet is very interesting. I feel like it's a marketing strategy in the same way I feel like the Barbie Oppenheimer / Barbieheimer started to trend in a way that boosted not one but both films. Call me Mr. Fantastic, but I believe that Drake is reaching for that same type of publicity for the upcoming albums. I mean, For All the Dogs album, along with a Doja Cat album, I feel like the joke's right itself, but maybe not. With that set to the side, Doja Cat has been running, and I mean Usain Bolt type running, the charts. Go with me to the top songs in USA. Look at number 1. Go with me to the top songs in global and look at number 2. Doja Cat is putting up numbers right now that not a lot of people are respecting simply because of her antics, which is why I believe her antics are simply to sell records. I do not believe that Doja Cat is going into a dark room, turning off, all the lights off because it's dark room, but y'all get what I'm saying. Having some type of ritual image on the ground. I don't watch the horror movies, so just picture that, when they have the candles and the little girls in the little circle, and people feel like that's Doja Cat's day-to-day ritual, right? Because they believe that she's praising Satan and she's devil worshiping. I believe this is simply to sell records. Now, the amount of money you can make from one diamond record has to be highlighted because, how do I put this? You can financially sustain, if that's the word, your family and your family's family with one diamond record if the finances are used correctly. Doja Cat currently has a top song in the world with Paint the Town Red that came out this year. So with that being said, this is specifically because of her sales. If Paint the Town Red did not do as well as projected, let's just say that, because she's under, let me see who she's under. I accidentally didn't play the song. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying. I'm still playing. I'm still playing the song. All right. Doja Cat's under RCA Records. I don't know too much about RCA, not gonna lie to you. But I will say that Demons, let's look at the timeline, right? Demons came after Paint the Town Red. I do not believe she would have leaned towards the whole demonic, praising Satan type imagery if it did not work. In the same landscape of content creators going and making salacious headlines, clickbait titles, which is very offensive if it didn't sell. Controversy sells more than just peaceful takes on society. So if you're salacious, if you're offending someone, if you are doing something that's not deemed safe in society, then you will get more exposure to as far as the masses. That's why most music nowadays talk about one thing and one thing only, and that is love making, aka sex, right? Because what is the famous phrase? Sex sells. To the point where back in the day where it wasn't as highlighted, they wouldn't have couples sleep in the same room because that was too sexual, I guess, for the audience, for certain viewers. Nowadays, they have a whole show blowing up on HBO that's literally high schoolers taking turns having sex with random people, and guess what? It's one of the biggest shows in the world. Hopefully I know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm talking about Euphoria. So the reason why people do these outlandish marketing tactics where imagery is very salacious, especially to little kids and in impressionable minds, is because it sells. So to bring it full circle, I feel like Doja Cat is doing the same thing with Scarlett, but I do not believe she's personally, through her day-to-day life, praising Satan and sitting down and like, hey, how do I serve your wishes, master? I don't think she's doing that at all. I think she's looking at the charts like I just did. It's public. It's like you can look at the charts whenever you want to. Look at the charts. Doja Cat is literally at the top out of all the musicians in the world putting out music. Doja Cat's Paint the Town Red is #1. Now, what does that tell you about her devil worshiping campaign? It's obviously working. And if a marketing tactic is working, she's going to keep implementing it, which she did with her following single, which is Demons, going way off the deep end with the devil worshiping, the music video, the imagery, to the point where she's calling her album Scarlet. And guess what? Y'all still going to listen to it, and she's still going to sell way more than 95% of other musicians in the game, simply because the market strategy is working. So in closing, I do not believe Doja Cat is out here worshiping the devil. devil. I believe that she just looks at the numbers, and if people are going to gravitate towards her worshiping the devil, satanic rituals type imagery in her demons video, then she's going to keep doing it. What sense is taking the moral high ground if you're not going to get as much exposure from it? And that is currently where Doja Cat is at. Morally, I feel like it's morally inept, if that's the word to use. I believe it is. So I think it's morally inept, but is obviously working in the grand scheme of things, because she currently, to this day, to quote my man Deontay Wilder, has the #1 track in the world with Paint the Town Red. So with that being said, of course I didn't get into a latest single. I really wanted to get that off my chest, because I feel like a lot of people are missing the point with this whole Doja Cat and marketing strategy, and they're just acting like she's just falling off and that's why she's doing it. She's literally running the charts and nobody wants to acknowledge it. They just want to focus on her devil worshiping. And if people cared enough about the devil worshiping, they would stop listening to her music. But she's #1 in the world, so here we are. She put out a new single titled, I don't even know how to say that, Ballad? Is it a ballad? No, it's not how you spell ballad. Ballad's with an E, right? E-T? I don't know. I think it's Blood. If it's not, hey, y'all can make fun of me. You know what I mean? I'll try my best. But this is the track list. Shameless plug, Analytic Dreamz video on my Spotify channel to see what to see the video elements along with the audio. But I currently have the track list up. Just look at track number 3, and my point is even more I don't even know what's the word. My point is even more stamped, I guess, with track number 3. And you know, it's really interesting the way that people don't understand how marketing works. If you try a marketing tactic and you get more recoup on investment than other marketing strategies, why not keep with the marketing strategy that literally gives you the most revenue? So that's what I think Doja Cat's doing. I don't want to be a dead horse, because at the end of the day, they probably think Doja Cat's doing that as part of her satanic ritual. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Doja Cat's new single for her album Scarlet titled Ballad? And interesting question, do you think that Doja Cat can possibly outsell Drake when he releases For All the Dogs next week and first week sales? All right. Let me see. Somebody just type rods. Pause. No, just playing. Oh, I can see a name. Kevin Rock is type rods. That's funny. On YouTube. I don't know what that means. I think he's probably talking about the Rod Wave. Everybody's been, you know, a lot of people's been hitting me about the Rod Wave album. So that's interesting. Like, his singles really haven't been hitting like that, but it seems like a lot of people have garnered together to be like, hey, we listening to this album. So it's very interesting how that's playing out. Obviously, I'm a huge Rod Wave fan, but that still took me by surprise, as his singles wasn't really selling like that. Obviously, he's selling out arena tours, but musically, as far as singles, is lackluster compared to his previous rollouts. So hopefully it makes sense. Anyways, let's get this picture of her covered in blood off my screen. Thank you very much. Let's get into, did we talk about David Guetta? We did. All right, let's get into J Balvin with Usher and DJ Khaled. What? It must be opposite day. It has to be opposite day. All right. I'm telling you, bro, these Latin musicians running the charts have all these American artists flocking towards them. First, it was Drake with Bad. But people are gonna give Drake his props. This man be tapped in. First, it was Drake with the track Mia with Bad Bunny before he was Bad Bunny today, where Drake was literally singing in Spanish, literally. And now everybody wants to collab with Latin musicians when Drake did it back in 2019, 2020. Interesting how that works. Drake's so tapped in that I understand why he's number one. Like if he's gonna take all that time, like it seems like hip hop's really his life. So, which is nothing wrong with it, but it's like, dang, like this man ain't saving. This man ain't saving none of y'all. He saw Lil Baby was getting the treatment of maybe being next up. He dead at that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that canceled the tour for Lil Baby. But anyways, you know, maybe that's just my 2 cents. All right, let's get into J Balvin. Let me see. Y'all think Doja Cat's gonna outsell Drake first week? Which I think. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Cause I was talking to my friend. He was like, "Bro, ain't no way." I'm like, "Bro, look at the charts. Like she's obviously outselling in singles. So why couldn't she in the whole body of work?" But I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. And Drake's like my favorite artist. If that's not, if that's not obvious. I'm pretty objective with how I view stuff. All right. Let me see. Alrighty. Is this in Spanish? Oh, this is in Spanish. Oh, okay. No, not most of it's not. All right, that's cool. Let's do this one. Let me get that back. And then let me see. Open a new tab. I feel like if I get his Instagram, he would have this up. That's one thing about Latin musicians, bro. They definitely use social media as way better than American artists. J Balvin. Like they be having promo teams and all type of stuff. I remember Peso Pluma when he was at VMAs, like I forget, like not too long ago. Man, his promo team was going in overdrive, putting out stuff for his All right, let me catch. Dang. Hmm. What does dientes mean? I didn't learn that. All right. We're gonna look what this means because I don't know what that means. What does dientes mean in English? It means teeth. I don't know why. I mean, I thought it meant smile because they were smiling, doing little, doing a Kodak. Anyways, I should be able to see the screen. It's funny how a person just typed in rods. That was hilarious. This man was like, "Hey, bro, we need you to talk about that Rod Wave. We don't care about these other artists." He better sell like y'all don't care about these other artists, because I'll be looking at them first week sales. And anyways, all right, let's get into J Balvin. Actually, let me make sure I didn't hit my mic. My fault. J Balvin. And this may be running up the numbers. Dientes. I had to brush my dientes, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. Put the grills on the dientes. No. I think should I start the second segment like that? I may do that. Hold up. Give me 1 second. If I don't like it, we do it take 2. One time I went to the doctor, got some grills, you feel me? Put them on my dientes. And another time, woke up in the morning, had to take care of the hygiene. You know what I'm saying? So I had to brush my dientes. And when I was a little lad, just a wee little lad, growing up in my hometown, had to get the dientes fixed with some braces. Cause when you're little, they be growing everywhere. They ain't really got no organization when they're growing in your mouth. So had to get the dientes straight with the braces. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those was 3 examples of how I realized that dientes means teeth through Googling. Why did I look that up? Because currently, J Balvin has remixed Usher's 2004 hit single, Yeah. Like literally titled Yeah. Like the track that blew up and everybody and their mom, probably, let me chill. Anyways, that track is ones that got the people going, in the clubs, and now J Balvin, with the help of DJ Khaled, of course, has remixed the hit single Yeah. And of course, Usher is not going to let somebody sample one of his greatest hits of all time and not be a part of the track. So Usher's also on this track, and it's one of those things where, with the focus around the women he meets, is very catchy chorus, resembles the likes of Yeah back in 2004. Of course, Usher contributes to the song in the way that Usher does, just being one of the more unproblematic artists and musicians that we ever had in history. Obviously, we have the whole thing with him burning, let's just say that. But besides that, he's been the poster child of what you would like a musician to represent navigating this space as a superstar icon in the music industry. Because Lord knows, a lot of musicians hung themselves out to dry way earlier in their career than they would have liked. But Usher has stayed the straight and narrow throughout the entire period of his career. It really needs to be a documentary on how LeBron, one, and Usher, two, have stayed out of controversy the whole career when they've been in the limelight so often. Usher was punched in the mouth by Chris Brown, and not only did he rejuvenate, recoup, heal, regenerate, how you say it? Regenerative factor kicked in, healing, that's what I'm looking for. His healing factor kicked in on some Wolverine Deadpool type beat. He came out on a video and he was like, hey, what bruises? Then the following day, he was on stage with the man that punched him in the mouth, aka Chris Brown, like nothing happened. Like, this man is just beyond unproblematic. So to see him in a music video titled Dientes, which means teeth, how to say that, not featuring, it's J Balvin's song celebrating Latin music while giving them such an iconic track to remix, is such a nice nod to the Latin community. Because if you don't know, a lot of musicians have started to gravitate towards overseas artists because they're seeing the impact that they're having, not only in their country, but also in the States. Because if you don't know, RIAA only certifies US as far as gold, platinum, and diamond, right? You need like 10 million streams and the US to even be certified for certain plaques. If you have all your streams overseas and none in the US, it's going to be hard to get RIAA certification. So with that, obviously is a win-win for J Balvin and for Usher, but definitely for Usher, as once again he showcases, he highlights, he exemplifies the most unproblematic superstar icon that we've ever had in the music industry. And with that, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. Have you listened to J Balvin's new track titled Dientes featuring Usher and DJ Khaled? And if you have, or if you've listened to it, do you think it's fire or trash? Shout out to the people in the Wisdom chat tuning in. Appreciate y'all for taking time out of your morning, aka midnight, to listen to me break down the new music releases. Obviously, if somebody just typed in the YouTube chat, they ready for me to get to Rod Wave. They was like, man, forget all these other artists. Rodarius dropped. So I'm about to get to that in a second. We're getting into the people in the title now. Like I said, this stream is going to be a little shorter because if you follow my YouTube, shameless plug, almost at 7,000 subscribers. So I appreciate y'all support, but make sure to follow, subscribe. I went live earlier today, basically playing Mortal Kombat 1, you know, giving people hands, feet, and elbows in the story mode. You know, I think I was pretty nice, you know, playing against a computer. But yeah, make sure to check that out. All right. And also, if you miss any portion of this stream, just know it's gonna be uploaded after the fact to my podcast, Notorious Mass Effect. Shameless plugs out the way. Let's get into the main course. By the main course, I mean the main course. I think we should probably do Rodarius last, because that's the one that people want to hear the most. So let's start with Nas, because he bounced back after dropping that atrocious album. So we're gonna get into that. I ain't been doing no research. I've been talking off the, because obviously I feel like, well, not feel like, I know for me, researching so much, it's like sometimes I could just do it without any research, because I know previous stuff that I can just implement to like my current stuff, and it's like it's still like Chris Brown punching Usher, like that happened a while ago. So anyways, Nas Magic 3. I think it's Magic, right? Am I tripping? Magic 3. Let's see. Dang, Nas is 50? Goodness. Feel like that Kevin Hart meme. Like, boy, you been on this earth a minute, haven't you? This boy been on earth for a minute. That boy said he ain't going nowhere no time soon. Let me see. Dang, imagine what it'd be like to be 50. Like, not even in a bad way, just like to experience so much life, especially in the way that Nas has. Obviously, we don't never know like people's personal life, but it seems like Nas is a pretty well-spoken individual, you know. And I don't know what it is, but it just seems like Nas is just one of them, man. Like, God was just like, hey, we gonna let you live to this long because you know you impact the culture in a certain way. I don't know if that makes sense. All right, about to get into Nas. Nas and Lil Wayne. Definitely gotta get into that. It's basically a solo album besides Lil Wayne. Nas and Lil Wayne on the same track. That's a cheat code. Like, come on now. Like that track can't even be like close to mediocre, normal. Like that just probably straight bars for the entire track. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like, man, forget a chorus. We just gonna be rapping. Who y'all think better at rap, Nas or Lil Wayne? I think it's Nas. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Now, actually, I think I have Nas after Lil Wayne. I think I literally have not Lil Wayne like number 6 and Nas number 7, I believe. Or maybe it's Nicki number 6. I think I have Nicki in the top 5. No, I have her in number 6. I don't know. I forget. I had to look at my list. All right. Instagram. I thought his trilogy was King's Disease. Was it not? I didn't know he had a trilogy called Magic. This man Nas does not post at all. Such an old man. Anyways. Magic 3. All right, now I'm about to do a little bit of my own research. See Nas. Oh, Illmatic is still trending in this. That's crazy. Magic 2, Magic 3. King's Disease. He's dropped 2 albums in the same year. Probably because Magic 2 was atrocious. That album was trash. Yeah, that's probably why he did it. Okay, it's the same. It's the same trilogy. All right. All right, let's get into Nas. Take this off right quick. All right, cool. All right. After releasing one of the, if not the worst body of work I've ever heard from Nas, he is back again in the same year to complete the trilogy. For my Nas fans out there, say what you want. Magic 2 came out July 21st, 2023, and not even a year after, in the same year, he dropped Magic 3 to complete the trilogy September 14th, 2023. Now, you could be saying he just wants to flood the music gates to fulfill his fans, right? Or we could be honest and say Magic 2 completely flopped. I think it sold like 21,000 first week. I think it was like competing with like Glorilla's EP. Anyways, quality was beyond subpar. I listened to the entire album, so I don't think I'm like just hating on it. I tried. You know, hey, Nas is in my top 10 rappers of all time, and I try my best to enjoy Magic 2. When I heard, which one was it? Was it Abracadabra? No, Office Hours. Perfect. When I heard Office Hours and 50 Cent just started talking after 2 bars, I was like, okay, y'all setting Nas up for failure. Cause no way in the world are you gonna get an iconic feature like 50 Cent and he's just gonna talk for most of his verse. That's just completely disrespectful. Nas has Lil Wayne as the sole feature, I believe, on his album Magic 2. Yeah. Best believe me, Lil Wayne is not going to be like 50 Cent and only give us 2 bars and then start talking. He's going to give Nas a serviceable verse at the very least. Probably is going to be Fuego, straight pyrotechnician, and actually fulfill the duties of a legendary icon delivering a verse, right? So I think Nas was set up for failure in Magic 2, and I think, what was it, Hit Boy producing this entire album? Yeah, this entire trilogy has been produced by Hit Boy. I think Nas and Drake must have some type of beef, because ain't no way this man Hit Boy gave Nas one of the worst packs of beats I've ever heard in my life. Magic 2 is literally the epitome of Nas can't pick good beats. The reason why I'm spending so much time trashing Magic 2 is because Magic 3 is literally out in the same exact year that Magic 2 came out because of it being such an atrocity. Nas has hinted that Magic 3 might be his final album, but it hasn't been confirmed. I think, and this is me, Mr. Fantastic, reaching once again, Nas put out Magic 2 with Hit Boy, thinking that he had a solid body of work on his hands, you know, featuring 50 Cent, all of that good stuff. Public reception was beyond what he expected, probably because they said, and they kept it honest. I ain't even know Nas fans could keep it honest, but they said that Nas put out some trash, dog water, just below sea level music, right? So it's nice that he's back with Magic 3, because obviously people are saying it's released on his birthday to celebrate his birthday. It's released because Magic 2 was so bad that he could not live with the backlash and the type of public perception that he was getting from his last album just being completely I don't even know I don't even know how many words. Hold up. This is what we finna do. No, that's what we finna do, because I really got to do this. Hold up. Thesaurus.com. This is what we're gonna do. Atrocious. Here we go. Because this is ridiculous. Magic 2 was such a heinous, lousy, scandalous flagrant, monstrous, nefarious, and to cap it off, simply bad. That this man had to turn back in the same year and give us another album. I don't think y'all realize the type of work that you have to put out to receive such bad backlash that you have to put out another a body of work in its entirety in the same year. I'm not gonna be a dead horse. I gotta let y'all know why the reason this Magic 3 came out is not to celebrate Nas's 50th birthday. They just made that up. Whoever his PR team is, hey, kudos to y'all. Y'all definitely was able to spin that narrative. Oh wow, Nas is 50. That's great, of course. Magic 3 came because Magic 2 was completely, and I mean just straight down bad. Just bad. That's it. So anyways, Magic 3 can't be any worse than that. So I'm looking forward to listening to Magic 3 by Nas, of course. I'm not a Nas hater. It's just when an iconic legend like that gets served up in a way that I just felt like he was just like served up to fail. Like Hit Boy gave him bad beats. 50 Cent started talking after 2 bars of his verse. Like, do people not care about Nas no more? Like, I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all are on a Nas album and 50 Cent was just talking. Like, that stuff still to this day befuddles me. Like, I'm just bewildered, straight up flabbergasted on how you can just give such minimal effort on a verse for Nas, one of the greatest rappers of all time. And to Hit Boy, how you can just give minimal effort as far as beats and your package of beats for an entire album. Exemplifying the fact that Nas is just not great at picking beats because he had no idea in the world that Hit Boy was serving up some trash. So anyways, click my Linktree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. Are you going to be listening to this Magic 3, which is this conclusion of the Magic trilogy with Nas and Hit Boy? And when you listen to it in its entirety, which track, actually, forget all that. If you've listened to Magic 2, and, you know, God be with you, because I don't know how you managed to get through that. But if you did manage to suffer through the entirety of Magic 2, what do you think was the worst track on that album? All right. Let me see. For the new people joining in, just know that we're getting into the artist and the title. Usually I like to save them for the end, and we're at the end. So yeah, that's my reasoning. Diddy, that's who. Oh wait, hold up. We're getting into Nas and Lil Wayne, because we're not finna do that. We're just gonna have a read along, because we ain't finna skip past that. Nope. Nas and Lil Wayne, Never Die. That's fire. Just gonna have a little read along. That's what we finna do. Finna be a little respectful. All right, pull this up right quick. Make sure to crack out your Genius books. Finna get into it. Nas. Here we go. All right. If you would please turn with me to Never Die by Nas featuring Lil Wayne, track 6 off of Magic 3, produced by Hit Boy. Turn with me to verse 2 by Lil Wayne. Everyone have it? All right, let's read. Icon stepping on pythons, spitting that cayenne, eating like Zion. Why does man catch a stray? Anyways, peeking at the skyline, reaching for the stars like I'm reaching for the pylon. I sent you on the sideline. We need to walk a fine line. We need to read the guidelines instead of reading the timelines. Why everybody like wine? Question mark. Nobody flow like mine. I don't know what in the world that has to do with each other, but we're gonna keep reading. I haven't listened to this track at all. We're gonna keep reading because that's the amount of respect I have for these artists. So once again, let me reiterate. We need no, what was that? Because this is ridiculous. Why everybody like wine? Question mark. Nobody flow like mine. I'm sunning these expletives. Got me coaching expletives like prime. Tongue, I never bite mine. Got dough like Taekwon. To spend all. He just said he got dough like Taekwon. No, that's all right. Y'all understand. So that's what we're gonna end it off. Basically, Lil Wayne is giving Nas the verse that 50 Cent should have gave him on Magic 2. As you can see, this verse is filled with double and triple entendres because it's the GOAT, Lil Wayne. With that being said, 50 Cent, and I'm gonna keep reiterating this because this is beyond blasphemy, to quote my man Stephen A. Because 50 Cent gave us 2 bars and started talking throughout the duration of his verse. Let that sink in. Now we have Lil Wayne, who is actually delivering on his end as far as giving an iconic verse. I mean, he literally said spitting that cayenne. I don't know what that's pronounced. Maybe that's some rich people food. Cayenne. I assume it's cayenne because Zion, cayenne. I don't know. Spitting that cayenne, eating like Zion. I don't even know how that man catches straight. I thought we went from eating to him, doing some, hey, doing you know what. You know what I mean? That man don't know whether to. Let me chill. So, anyways, Zion fell in love in a different. Let me chill. All right. So Zion caught a stray, of course, but the one that got me was I got dope like Taekwon. I don't know why, but the way that Lil Wayne probably said it, it was just probably masterful because I haven't listened to the track, so this is a prime glazing right now. Pause. Extra pause. But Lil Wayne and Nas on the track, same track, does not happen too often, and when it does, it has to be highlighted because this is hip hop at the end of the day, and we highlight our legends, give flowers to our legends when deserved, and we critique and call out our legends when it's deserved as well, like when 50 Cent gave that atrocious, abysmal verse to Nas on Magic 2. So anyways, that's basically all I have. I just wanted to cover Nas and Lil Wayne. Haven't listened to the track yet, but obviously, having a little read along through Lil Wayne's verse, I can already tell that he's not his 50 Cent tip and he's actually trying through his verse. So anyways, we'll see how it ends up sounding, but click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Nas and his just overall status in the hip hop culture? And if this is indeed his last album ever, where does he stand amongst the best rappers of all time? All right, let's get into Diddy and then Rodarius. I ain't gonna lie, we moving along. I like this. Nice little pace. Nice little pace because I was not able to spend too much time. I'm just gotta get in and out. Got a lot of stuff to do. At the end of the day, I think I lost my spot. Dang. Gosh darn it. Lost my spot, man. All right, where's Diddy? Diddy is P Diddy. Nope, that's not it. Diddy. Nope, that's not it. XXXTentacion. Nope, that's not it. Oh, here we go. This man released an album, I believe. So, the Love album. Triple distilled tequila. Alrighty. I didn't even click on that, but that's cool. That's just, I guess it just pops up. The Love album. Please pop up what I need. Made music a priority over businesses to create the Love album. If you think about it, bro, Diddy makes a lot of money, and as soon as he starts beefing with the company that made him a lot of money, he starts returning to music, aka the dude that owns Ciroc. If y'all don't know, Diddy's in a huge dispute with the guy who owns Ciroc, and it's a pretty big money in play. It's like definitely above 99.9999% of people's pay grade. So I think it's interesting. Imagine pocket watching billionaires. That is exactly what Diddy versus Ciroc is. All right. All right. All right. Let me see. Let me see. I don't even think I've seen the track list. I kind of want to see track list. I don't not. I mean, I know that The Weeknd is on this album. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, I see LeBron say he was gonna play for Team USA. That man don't sit down somewhere. This man 60 years old talking about playing with 19-year-olds. Like, come on now. Boy, if you man, that man need to get through the season. How about that? That man knows. Hey, LeBron at the age now that he, I don't know if he can handle them extra miles. Because if we talk about mileage, he up there of all time, like literally all time. So him playing in Team USA would have to be like a retirement type thing. Like he would have to say he retired and then play Team USA, and then at the end of it, be like, man, you know what? I don't feel like retiring. I'm coming back. That's the only way I could see him playing the Team USA if it was like some type of retirement tour. Who knows? Love album. Genius. Where's Genius? Let's see. Love album Off the Grid. The Dream. Sway Lee, Summer Walker. Dang, he got everybody on here. Does he have Carisha on here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to be messy. Carisha is not on here. Dang, why he do that? Stop playing. You telling me you couldn't put Carisha on one of these tracks? All right, I guess not. I wonder how much money he paid for this. I'm always pocket watching. It's a problem. Let me change this right quick so I can see that. Okay. Let's get into Mr. Diddy. I find it interesting that Diddy has any and everybody on this album. Shows the immense respect he has in the music industry, and also showcases that not only is he an entrepreneur making successful business moves in the industry, but he also has time to put his efforts into music more than most other businessmen likes to. I'm specifically talking about Jay-Z, but going at Jay-Z isn't the best strategy as far as trying to be all right. We're taking that off. That was bad. Let me see. Where's this at? Where's this at? Yeah. Is that it? I think that's it. All right, delete that. All right, let's get back to it. Take two. Stephen A would not be proud, but it's cool. The amount of people that Diddy, aka Sean Combs, has on this album is very commendable because it just shows the immense respect that he has in the music industry. Going from The Weeknd to a Justin Bieber to a Ty Dolla Sign, Mary J. Blige, Tiana Taylor, Diddy and Burna Boy. Well, I mean, Diddy is like, that's a given. John Legend, her. Basically, you get it. Everybody and their mama came out to help with Diddy's new album titled The Love Album, Off the Grid. Now, what do you need to know about The Love Album? It's his first solo studio project since 2006. Man, Diddy's old. But anyways, the album features about 30 artists. Approximately, I don't know, nearly, I think it's the right word, nearly 30 artists. I just listed some of them. Of course, the lead single for this album was, of course, Abel Tesfaye. Like, stop playing with The Weeknd. Like, I call him the king of pop for a reason. Just go to Spotify, look at his monthly listeners, and then try to find an artist on that platform with bigger numbers than The Weeknd. All right, that's besides the point. Diddy also built a recording studio at his home after his dream and began working on music. Now, I don't know what type of dream this man was having, but apparently people be having dreams, and then at the end of the day, they wake up and have a whole new purpose in life. So Diddy's dream, angel or whatever, came to him, and he was like, hey, you need to make music because you beefing with the owner of Ciroc right now, and that's probably not the best thing to do. So let's get back to your roots and put out some music. Now, with that being said, he also has been delegating his business responsibilities, which includes, of course, being the head of Bad Boy Records, Revolt TV, Sean John clothing line, and Power Global, and just a lot of stuff that's in a black-owned space as far as brands. Diddy, one of the most impactful businessmen in history when it comes to the black community, right? I think that's a given. I think everybody knows that. So, despite his love for all these different business moves in the industry and putting out a plethora of brands that have just impacted not even the black community, just the community in general, he also is a musician at heart and has returned to put out this album. Now, is this his last album that he will have a hand in? Who knows? Took him a while to put out this one, 2006 to 2023. I'll let you do the math. Basically, it's been a long time. So I would guess that this album is going to be maybe his last one ever. Like, I think it's safe to say that because Diddy is not getting younger. Obviously, he still looks like he's young, but these type of business moves in the music space is unprecedented. I can't talk. Unprecedented because taking that much time in between projects that you have a majority of the say in is very interesting. I would be interested to see the numbers, interested to see what singles pop off. Obviously, if I was to pick, I would probably say the bigger names would pop off, like The Weeknd's track, Justin Bieber's track. Who else? Sway Lee, maybe. I don't know. Basically, that's it. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just looking at the numbers and who will be bringing in the most return, So The Weeknd, Justin Bieber, yeah. He received the Global Icon Award, which was a huge deal at the MTV Video Music Awards. And to top that off, Diddy donated $1 million each to the Jackson State University football team in the Earn Your Leisure and Fund for financial literacy investments. What else? Oh, okay. So Diddy is trying to purchase BET. Should let you know the type of pockets that he's having, right? Suing Diego, I think that's how you say it. I don't know how to say that. Basically, the owner of all the bigger alcohol brands in the world, right? And especially Ciroc, the one that he has a hand in promoting. So he's suing them. So he definitely has his hands full with that. But he took the time away from suing and trying to buy BET to create this album that reflects his life as far as love making, of course, dancing, of course, and escaping from everyday life with a significant other. So at the end of the day, Diddy released the album, the Love Album, Off the Grid, on all DSPs currently, and he is still, to this day, one of the more impactful human beings that we've ever had, not even in the music industry, just in the black entertainment space in general. And with that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about P. Diddy's album, the Love album? And if you've listened to it, what is your favorite track off of the album? All right. Let me see. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber just put out a single, didn't he? Let me see. Let me see. Justin. I think he's suing like Scooter Braun. So I don't know if he's putting out music right now. I think he's trying to get that situated. Private Landing. Okay. Yeah, Justin Bieber don't really put out too much music. All right, let's cover that. Justin Bieber moments. And then we're gonna get into The Weeknd. What's that? What's that track at? All right. All right. Breaking news, shocking news. NASA has appointed a new UFO chief to help understand mysterious sightings, but has declined to expose their identity. I don't know what that means. I'll let y'all do with that information what you will. Anyways, let's get into Bieber Valley. I like how Justin Bieber is popping up in the black community. I'm not gonna lie to you. Taking time out of his day to give a solo track to Diddy for his album, the Love album, that's out now on all DSPs, is beyond commendable because he could be doing anything else with his time, and he has not been putting out a lot of music himself. So for this, it's a rare outing for Justin Bieber. Not only is it a rare outing, but because of the time span between his last release of music, and now, it's nice for it to be on a Diddy album. Because it's putting more eyes on a Diddy album that otherwise would have been if Justin Bieber wasn't on it. Now, y'all probably wondering, what do you mean Justin Bieber's bringing eyes to Diddy's album? Well, if you go with me down memory lane, the last time that Justin Bieber even released a solo track was in 2022, August 30th. So August 30th, 2022 was the last solo release from Justin Bieber. And it was titled Beautiful Love, in parentheses, Free Fire. So the only offering that we've had from Bieber Valley has been Private Landing with Don Toliver. And now, just recently, he has put out Snooze, acoustic version with SZA. And finally, he has a solo track on Diddy's album, which is on track 12, titled Moments. So, to wrap this all up, Justin Bieber is doing wonderful things in the black community. And for somebody who came up, I'm not going to say under the wing of Usher, but kind of had a huge co-sign from Usher back when Usher was like insanely popping, statistically, of course. It's nice that throughout the duration of his career, throughout his entire span, even after he sang the N-word as a little kid, he still came back and made up for that, if you can ever, make up for that type of stuff, by giving so many helping tracks to the black community and helping efforts as far as collaborations, which Private Landing was a phenomenal verse from Justin Bieber. Obviously, I'll have to listen to the verse on Snooze, and I'll have to listen to this verse. But from a bird's eye view, seems like Justin Bieber has not forgotten his roots and just black music creators helping his career. And he's still helping out when he can to certain musicians in the space, because he definitely doesn't have to. You know, he could be one of those guys who gets a hit off of appropriating black culture and then completely put out uh sing a singing rock pop type album that has no hip hop elements whatsoever. You know, I'm not really talking about anybody, you know, specifically Post Malone, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, put all that to the side, and Justin Bieber is still down with us because he just is. Like, it's just obvious, plain as day. Don Toliver, SZA, and now Diddy. Y'all tell me what they all have in common. So, anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Justin Bieber giving a solo outing to Diddy's album, The Love Album? And will you be giving that a listen? Because it's currently out on all DSPs. Will you be giving that a listen? And if you do you think the Justin Bieber solo track is fire or trash? All right, The Weeknd. Now, apparently, this is The Weeknd's last feature of all time, which I could not call bigger cap on. Because if y'all don't know, Abel Tesfaye is one of my favorite artists of all time. Aubrey Graham, aka Drake, is my favorite artist of all time. They're like 1 and 2 for me. 3, 4, and 5 are interchangeable, but as far as the top 2, Drake, The Weeknd, sometimes Chris Brown is in my top 3, but you know, then he goes and punches, you know, one of our icons in the music industry, aka Usher, and you know, he goes back down on my list. So whenever he's not throwing his temper tantrum, sometimes Chris Brown is in my top 3. But for the most part, it's Drake and Chris and The Weeknd as far as the music I consume on an everyday basis. I think I've came to the realization that The Weeknd puts out some of the best music consistently I've ever heard in my life. If the Idol soundtrack was an actual album, I would have that as my favorite album of the year. I do believe that The Weeknd, in constructing that album, made one of his best body of work as far as his whole discography is considered. But even though technically it was his show, I mean, he was starring along with Johnny Depp's daughter, I believe. I forget her name. Lily Depp, I think it was her name. It was basically her show and his show. Like, they was like co-starring, I guess. Anyways, basically the soundtrack was fire. Beyond fire. Like, False Idols, I believe it's called, with Little Baby, still to this day is like, it's not my favorite track of the year, but it's like top 2, top 3. And yes, I do keep a list. So basically, I say all that to say, The Weeknd with Diddy being track 10 off of his album, The Love Album, is very interesting to see, because for him to say it's his last feature and for it to be this, you already know where I'm going with it. Underwhelming to say the least. Sonically, it sounds off than what I'm usually used to hearing from The Weeknd, but maybe it'll grow on me. That's the biggest cape I can give to one of my favorite artists. So, with that being said, let's focus on The Weeknd's good outings in music. I feel like if we was to recap The Weeknd's 2023, it was pretty solid. The Idol soundtrack, I keep saying, if that was an actual official album from The Weeknd, I think it would be one of his better bodies of work that he's ever put out. I mean, you really got to think about it. Double Fantasy with Future. Popular with Playboi Carti and Madonna. False Idols with Little Baby. Like a God from himself. Going into False Idols. Like, the transitions to the solo tracks was just classic. And The Weeknd has completely, because he already was cemented to me, but after that it was like, okay, yeah, The Weeknd has made consistently the best music I've ever heard from one particular artist. The reason why he's not my favorite, because Drake is simply because of the versatility. Like, The Weeknd is not going to come on giving a 32 bar verse and then start singing. Like, he stays in his lane, but his lane he does better than any other artist. And that's why for Drake, his versatility puts him on top for me. Pause. Yeah, extra pause. But yeah, I feel like his versatility, the way he raps, sings, taps into different cultures, whether you want to say it's culture vulturing or not, at least he's trying it, unlike some other rappers in the game who's supposedly top 5 that don't be trying anything new. So yeah, this track, if it is the last feature from the weekend, is beyond underwhelming. But I am a weekend fan, so maybe I'm tripping. Click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do y'all think of the weekend's outing on Diddy's album? And do you think this specific track titled Another One of Me, which was the single for the album, do you think it was fire or trash? All right, guys. For Kevin Rockets, who typed in the YouTube chat, it is time to get into rods, aka Rodarius Wave. And technically, I already talked about Rod Wave, so we're not gonna be getting into too much of Rod Wave. But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a little trip down memory lane. We're gonna look at the album, right? We're gonna see which track people are gravitating towards. That's what we're gonna do. The album's been out for what, 2 hours, so it should tell us what track people are gravitating towards. And that's not a good sign because I don't see any. Yeah, that's not a good sign. I swear people said they was waiting for this album. And I'm not. I got like certain sites I look for to kind of gauge the numbers. Like when I looked at Olivia Rodrigo's numbers last week when she dropped her album, insane. And she ended up selling like around 300,000 first week. So usually I can get a gauge. But this is not looking promising, but it is Rod Wave. So I'm going to hold out hope because he's also one of my favorite artists. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I don't think. Did people know this came out? 27 views. People may have. Okay, Call Your Friends is doing numbers. That was a single, so that doesn't count. Man, it's not looking good. 15. Yeah, Rod Wave may sell the least he ever did with the as far as first weeks. I mean, I don't care too much about first week because it's Rod Wave. So like, dang, nobody listening to Rod Wave? I swear. Hey, Kevin Rockets, let this man type in chat, bro. Ain't nobody listening to Rod Wave, bro. I ain't gonna cap to you. And obviously, I'm being a little facetious when I'm talking about nobody, but Beautiful Mind and Soulfly. When I looked at that when I was covering it, it wasn't looking like this. It was looking a little bit more engaging as far as engagement. All right, man, I gotta be tripping. Let me go to Twitter. Let me see. It's been enough time for me to see the numbers, and that's not promising. So let's go to. Adrian Broner. Why is he in front of mine? Like, come on now. Vikings, don't care about that. Rod Wave's trending. Okay, so he is trending. So I'm about to say they talking about it. Somebody said Rod Wave. This is peak music. Rod Wave just dropped album of the year. Rod Wave right now. Rod Wave got me in my feelings right now. Rod Wave love for a thug. Ain't no love for a thug. Nah, just feeling with you. I don't know how it goes. All right, so let's do that one. Let's do that one. Bring that one up. Okay. The Great Gatsby. He has a track called The Great Gatsby. What do you know about The Great Gatsby? Um, generational talent. Somebody said, "Oh, that's the crime." But why Rod Wave be getting everybody in their feels? Am I the only one that listen to Rod Wave just because I like enjoying the music? Like I don't be crying none of that. I don't know, maybe I'm just too much. All right, let's do Rap Beef. Y'all already pulled that one up. Somebody said I heard enough. Album of the year. That's great. Y'all fake hate Rod Wave so bad. I literally haven't read one hate tweet. That's okay. I got beef for being broke. That's cool. Boys Don't Cry. That's a single. I'm not covering it. Well, actually, should I cover that? That came out today though, right? It came out today. Um, yeah. Somebody said I'm tired of this fake depression. Rod Wave, let me chill. Uh, Rod Wave album. Nobody talk to me. I'm literally just reading comments. Rod Wave, 21 Savage, Wallow, already. I talked about that. All right, guys. This is what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna cover this track. We're gonna cover that track, and I kind of want to cover a third track, but I don't want to cover Boys to Men. I might as well. Boys to Men. Let's see no other track. Oh no, not Boys to Men. Boys Don't Cry. All right, cool. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep this up. We're gonna sprinkle some of these comments as I talk about Rod Darius. All right. Let me bring up Boys Don't Cry. What about Checkmate? When did Boys Don't Cry come out? That came out 2 days ago. Checkmate came out basically today. Decisions. Let me see which one the labels are pushing. Let's see. Let's go to not charts. New releases. Of course, Doja Cat's on the top. Turks and Caicos. No, Rod Wave got another entry. Don't tell me he only got one. Don't tell me he only got one. Dang, he only got one entry. That's tough. Alrighty, well, let's go to the black playlist. Where's that at? Rap Caviar. Here we go. The black playlist. Turks and Caicos. Dang, he still only got one entry, bro. That can't be right. Come See Me. All right, that's the one we're covering. Cool. Come See Me. Let me see. Come See Me. Bro, that one's already out. What? Bro, that came out 15 days ago. We're not covering that. All right, let's get into. We're about to have a read along. Let's start with Rap Beef. Let's do that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we finna get into Rod Darius Wave and we finna read a lot of lyrics. So hopefully y'all enjoy this. Track 16, Rap Beef by Rod Wave. If you would please turn with me to Genius. Verse 1. I'll let you get there, give you some time. And it reads, had a dream about my brother. We was courtside again. You coming home this year? No matter what I gotta spend. Gave his lawyer $350. His co-defendant 10. They want expletives in the cell. They don't want you to win. They post when I go to jail, not when I give back to the kids. So much came with this life, but it is what it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is what you call poetry at its finest. There's a reason why Rod Wave is one of the few musicians that's able to go on an arena tour and not get any dates canceled. Shout out to Lil Baby. But Rod Wave in his music, the messages he puts into his lyrics, it's so personal and personable that his fans gravitate towards it because of the genuine perception he gives about his life. I always say the best musicians in the music industry are the ones that's able to put their personal experiences into music. So when you're looking at Rod Wave and the way that he's literally telling you about how he's defending his brother in court via monetary efforts to his co-defendant and his lawyers, right? Or his co-defendant teams and his lawyer. It makes you understand why a lot of people gravitate towards Rod Wave. Obviously, a lot of people says his music is formulaic, which as a Rod Wave fan, I could probably say is a fair critique. Usually he lets the beat build, comes on with the chorus, follows that up with a verse, followed by a chorus, followed by a bridge, and then the chorus maybe one more time, and then that's it. And then to spice it up, sometimes he throws a little phone call in there, or he throws a phone call at the beginning, or he just starts talking at the end, right? But nobody can deny the messaging that he's giving in his music is a perspective into his life that we otherwise would not get if it wasn't for his openness and his willingness to open up to his audience. So for that, poetry at its finest. So anyways, after that glazing pause, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Rod Wave's track titled Rap Beef? And this is a big and. Do you think in the future we could see, because he kind of, not name checks, but he kind of refers to NBA Youngboy in a positive manner for as far as like understanding what he's going through. Do you think we'll ever get a Rap Beef remix featuring NBA Youngboy? All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Track 7 on Nostalgia, album by Rodarius Wave, titled Love for a Thug. If y'all would turn with me in your genius books to verse 1 by Rod Wave. You have it? Okay, let's read. It's like I gave it all I got, but it still wasn't enough. At times I sit and wonder, is it love for a thug? Me and my partner popping Percocets, but we trade them for a hug. A dosage of your love is all it takes to give it up. I made mistakes in my relationship. I admit I wasn't strong. But how another expletive gonna tell me where I'm going wrong? Man. At this point in time, Van Gogh, the picture Mona Lisa, and Rodarius Wave have all this in common. The way they phrase art, the way they portray art is a masterclass at its finest. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Love for a Thug obviously is one of the tracks off of Nostalgia, one of the random tracks that I wanted to highlight because I think his messaging is the reason why he has such a rabid fan base. Going on an arena tour, which I'm gonna keep reiterating because that needs to be highlighted, exemplified, straight up pinpointed to the reason why he's just him and a lot of these artists aren't. A lot of your favorite artists cannot go on an arena tour, and Rod Wave is doing it with the ease. Everybody in that arena is singing word for word, bar for bar, song for song, album for album for the duration of the entire Rod Wave performance. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a combination of many things. But the biggest one to me is the way that he's willing to open up to his audience and give us a perspective into his life that we otherwise would not get if it wasn't for him making music. I get it sometimes with Drake. I get it sometimes with The Weeknd. They like to open up, give you a glimpse into their life and music format. And that is why I believe these artists, these specific artists, have been on top for such a long time. Obviously not Rod Wave because he's newer compared to Drake and The Weeknd. But as far as the willingness to open up in your music and be vulnerable to random strangers on the internet, and to make it serviceable music at a high quality clip, there's an argument to be made that Rod Wave is one of the most poetic musicians in the game right now. And with that being said, click my Linktree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Love for a Thug off of this Nostalgia album? And if you've listened to the Nostalgia album in its entirety, what is your favorite track off of the album? Shout out to the 12 people in the Wisdom live chat right now. If you missed any portion of the stream, definitely make sure to follow my podcast, Notorious Mass Effect, where I cover the latest gaming and hip hop. All of this will be uploaded after the fact on my podcast. And yeah, so that's my shameless promo. All right, I'm getting into last segment of the stream, and then I'm probably gonna pass out to Saturday. What's today? Friday. I've been running for a minute, so all this recording, I ain't gonna lie, I love to do it, but at this point, running on fumes. So we gonna finish this up. All right. Last segment. Let's get into it. If you would please turn with me to track 11 on Nostalgia, titled "Boys Don't Cry" by Rodarius Wave, and turn with me to verse 1. I'll let you get there. All right. And it reads, "Tour bus sliding in the rain, headed out of state. So much going through my brain, I can barely think. Sometimes I get my own." Oh, my fault, I can't read. "Sometimes I get on my own and wander out of space. I love you, but I'm full of rage. Our past is full of pain. On a planet of my own, living like an alien, think it's safe to say that I'll never be the same again." Now, is that Beethoven or Rod Wave? I can't tell. I can't tell. The way you can read Rod Wave lyrics and then listen to the track and it has the same effect has to be studied in colleges, at collegiate institutions, at the most prestigious academic establishments that you could find. I don't know if I've ever had this many read-alongs Besides Drake, of course, because he's the GOAT. Let me not even, you know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. But as far as Rod Wave and his peers, this man is leaps and bounds above every single artist when it comes to lyrics, meaningful lyrics that correlates with his actual life. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, my favorite artist kills people on the regular, right? Just because your favorite artist kills people on the regular, I will excuse him for not putting his real life into the music, right? Because then you end up like Young Thug. But anyways, Rod Wave, getting back to Rodarius, right? Boys Don't Cry, track 11 on Nostalgia, is one of those type of tracks where reading it off, it comes off a certain way. Listening to it is a whole nother beast because this man can actually sing. Now, there's a term I like to use for people who can sing, or for people who can't sing, but they attempt to sing. Trippie Redd is one of the biggest qualifiers for this, right? I call this, well, I got this phrase from somewhere, but I don't remember. Basically, the phrase is crooning. And from that point on, when I realized that's the word we're using to excuse these non-singers, but actually trying to sing, we're just gonna call it crooning. This man Rod Wave sings like, you know, the outdated phrase, it ain't over till the big lady sing. Well, with all due respect, Rod Wave is the male version of that. So with that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Boys Don't Cry? What do you think about Rod Wave's stance or his stature, his impact in the music industry and the hip hop industry? And do you think he's one of the most impactful, poetic artists in his generation? I didn't compare this man to the big woman. That's crazy. Anyways, all right, I'm done. People on Kick, people on YouTube, appreciate y'all for tuning in, especially for my people over on Wisdom. I think we got up to 12. In general, you can catch this on my podcast, Notorious Mass Effect. After the fact, I'll upload this in its entirety. Not entirety, but different segments. If you don't know, I'll split them up and put them up on my podcast. And that has been the format for quite some time. Shout out to the masses. If you listen to this after the fact, you know, we surpassed 1.6 million downloads in just 8 months under the new hosting platform, Red Circle. I think we do around 80,000 per week as far as downloads. So, you know, pretty sizable returning audience, and I'm beyond thankful for that. And that is why, you know, I go live 2 times out of a day like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not tired. You know what I'm saying? I could keep going. not just play, but I definitely appreciate y'all. Make sure to follow my YouTube. I'm getting all my shameless plugs out the way. Make sure to follow my YouTube. We're approaching 7,000 subscribers on that. Make sure you follow my TikTok. I don't know how much you got on that, like 6,000 followers. Make sure you follow my Twitter. I think that's at like 1,000. I don't know. Basically, you know, we're up and coming on social media. It's kind of weird. It's like the opposite with Notorious Mass Effect. Like, I'm big on the Spotify, well, relatively big on Spotify, Apple, stuff like that, bringing in a lot of downloads. But as far as social media, you know, we definitely could use some work. But, you know, if you want to support along with the masses, click my link tree in my bio. And with that, I will catch y'all next time.